We know money isn't everything, but it is a big part of political campaigns. Candidates had to report how much money their campaigns have raised late last week. And our investigative reporter, Ben Hall, looked at the U.S. Senate races in both Kentucky and Tennessee and found they tell two different stories.
What's most interesting is how much money is coming in from out of state in that critical Senate race in Kentucky. That's where Republican Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is going up against Democratic challenger Amy McGrath. And outside money is pouring in. It's far away from the rolling hills of Kentucky, but people who live in the high-rises of New York City and in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., are pouring money into Kentucky's Senate race.
I can do this job.
Democratic challenger Amy McGrath was in elementary school when Mitch McConnell was first elected to the Senate 36 years ago. He is now Majority Leader, and their race has raised record-breaking sums of money.
The fundraising numbers for Democratic candidates across the country have been kind of astounding.
According to the most recent filings with the Federal Election Commission, Democratic challenger McGrath has raised more than $84 million over the course of the entire election. Incumbent Mitch McConnell has raised more than $53 million. But much of the money for both candidates is not coming from the people of Kentucky.
I guess the thing that surprised me the most was how much money had been raised from out of state.
A detailed analysis of money raised for the primary by the nonpartisan website Open Secrets shows just 3% of Amy McGrath's money came from Kentucky. For Mitch McConnell, it was just 9%. The top areas that contributed to both their campaigns were New York City, Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles. The huge fundraising totals have led both candidates to run ads in neighboring Tennessee.
Usually you don't see the Kentucky candidates come here and spend that kind of money, but obviously they are this time.
While the Kentucky race is awash in money, it's a different story in Tennessee.
And suddenly you got Marquita Bradshaw, who came out of nowhere, a somewhat unknown Memphis environmental activist that won the primary.
Political analyst Pat Nolan says Bradshaw's surprising win in the Democratic primary came despite her raising just $23,000 in the primary.
This is great.
She now faces Republican Bill Hagerty, who won a tough Republican primary. According to their most recent filings, Hagerty has raised nearly $15 million over the entire election cycle, most of which he spent in that primary, while Bradshaw has now raised $918,000.
The candidate that has the most money or spends the most money doesn't always win, but it helps you do so many things that help you win that it makes a big difference.
And while Tennessee has seen some out-of-state money, it's nothing like Kentucky, where in the final weeks of the election, both campaigns have more than $10 million cash on hand. The Kentucky Senate race is the second most expensive in the entire country. The only one more expensive is in South Carolina, and a lot of money in that race is coming in from out of state as well.